So let's talk about the concept of the human firewall. And for those that might not know what a firewall is, we can start with the brick and mortar kind. The firewall keeps a fire contained or from spreading or from getting in. Let's talk about it from a cybersecurity perspective. For those that might not know what a firewall is, let's talk about it and then share how this competition is creating the human firewall.
Great. So a firewall, there's a couple of different kinds. There's a software firewall that's on your PC. If you're a Windows user, it's called Windows Defender, and it protects your things getting into your computer. But if you're at a business, you really need a hardware firewall, and that's just a black box that looks a lot like a switch or a router or anything, or your computer, your desktop computer, and it constantly updates with threats that are out there worldwide from whatever firewall company you bought it from. And there's multiple brands out there. But small businesses often don't have a firewall because the internet service provider came in, gave them their cable modem and their wireless router, and they're like, okay, I'm done. I don't need anything else, because they think, well, their internet service provider set them up. I've got connection. I'm probably secure. They know what they're doing, and we'll move on. But unless they specifically ask for a firewall, they don't usually have one.
Yeah, it's very true. And so this cybersecurity, the competition that you're running, it's called the Wyoming's Small Business Cybersecurity Competition. Is that correct?
Yes.
Please tell us what you're doing there and how you are engaging professionals. Because this program, from what I understand, is not for cybersecurity professionals.
Not at all. No, not at all. And that's what you mentioned the human firewall. That's what we're trying to build, is that human firewall. We're taking office managers, HR managers, business owners, anybody that they have. Sometimes it's just the receptionist at a medical office. And we're training them to manage their risks. We're helping them redefine their team. We're helping them with the language, because tech language is really different. If you ask a tech person what AD is, A as in apple, D as in dog, they say Active Directory. But the rest of us in the world say, oh, it's 2022 AD. That's our era. So, the language itself is a barrier. And then when you take into account that 83.3% of the tech industry is comprised of white males, and over a third of businesses in Wyoming are owned by females, we've also got the language, the gender language gap. So it's like, if it's a woman-owned business, for instance, they not only have to learn Spanish, but they also have to learn French in order to understand how to manage their cybersecurity risks. Well, that is a huge barrier. So instead of asking them to learn Spanish and French, we ask them to learn a little bit about organizational behavior, culture. We help them create their policies. But the first thing that we start with is, how do you feel about the word cybersecurity? And guess what they usually say?
What's that?
They usually say, it makes me super nervous. I'm not at all confident. And that right there tells you that we have this barrier that we've created in the tech industry, and we need to get over that. And the only way to get over it is to use behavioral change principles, whether you call it organizational behavior or social work. Our program is based on social work principles of behavior change, so that we can get them over to that hump so they're feeling confident with the subject. Yeah. And once they get into it, they realize, this isn't that hard. I don't know why I was afraid of it.